when I first knew them, I found them very amusing in a way, you know. And though there was the excitement and danger around them, I used to laugh at their antics, you know.
I met them many Saturday mornings. They were always getting themselves nicked on Friday night and appearing in court on Saturday morning.
It was when all this killing and all that come about that they got worse than everybody else.
And you, as young men, aligned yourself with Billy Hill.
He's a very good person. I liked him a lot.
So were you his protégés?
Yeah, you could say that, yeah.
While Reggie might say that Billy Hill was his role model because he was smarter, he was, in his opinion, cleverer than Spot, and he was also, in Reggie's opinion, more like Reggie than Ronnie.
When we was going racing, he called us to his flat in Bayswater, and he turned around and said, if you're going racing, I'll give you my pitch to go to, which we was very pleased about. So William Hill was his name, correct name, and it was also the correct name of William all the bookmakers. He had a court case with the particular bookmakers because they said he was promoting money under their name, which he wasn't. He won the case and he beat him.
Esmeralda's was in Knightsbridge, and I think this was one of the things that led to their downfall, because they really, well, they were off their manor.
It's a big mistake, because instead of leaving it alone and keeping away from there and just popping their head in now and again, they took the East End to Knightsbridge.
You had second cousins to the Queen and all that going in there, all high people, all with something wrong with them. I'm sorry, you know, every one of them had something wrong with them. They liked boys, or if it was a woman, she'd be a lesbian or something like that, you know, all cranky, all a lot of them. But Ronnie, you couldn't sit him amongst them type of people.
I suppose the Knightsbridge set, they found it amusing to start with seeing all these scar faces and pug uglies roaming around. But they're sitting down with a East End cab driver and a lord and lady, somebody sitting the other side, you know. And then of course, when a few checks were made out and they were a bit late being honoured. The twins wouldn't 2 or 3 weeks go by and they would be around putting pickaxes through Rolls Royces and things like that, you know.
The next club they had was the Kentucky, which they had a big splash there, a lot of celebrities there. They knew one thing about them, they did know a lot of good top celebrities, you know what I mean? Judy Garland, as you know, all them sort of people.
It was always packed 7 days a week. But again, the twins never earned no money out of clubs. Because the simple reason is everyone what come in, they was buying drinks for.
They put their money about. They had no sense with money. Money was worthless to them. They just spent it as fast as they got it and give it away. If you said to him, "I like your watch," he'd take it off and give it to you. He was so generous in that way, you know.
For Ronnie, it was never really about money. For Reggie, it was really about money. Reggie wanted to be an adept businessman. Ronnie would never allow it. Ronnie would go to where they were working and he would take whatever he wanted, whatever it was, right? If they had £200 in the till, he'd give me £150.
There they all were in this background of 60s culture booming around the West End and the Chelsea set and this whole area. And they were this weird pair. And the weirdest of the two was Ron, and he became weirder and weirder and more popular, more and more talked about. Well, popular, he was talked about, he was feared, he was an unbelievable character.
It was like a family home, you know, and it was just a small little terraced house, and the twins and the mum and dad slept upstairs. There was a front room and a little kitchen, you know, it was a tiny little place.
It was the cleanest, most polished house I've ever seen, and decorated in the style of a canal longboat, with pictures of Rochester Castle and roses and, you know, the traditional type of decoration. Lots of polished brass. Each interior door had a white lace curtain over it, tied back with pink bows. It was something unique.
There was a superabundance of kitsch. I've never seen so much, including this wonderful mirror shaped like a guitar hanging from one wall over the sideboard.
Fort Valence, that was the nickname. And sometimes you deserved it because they had everything in there, guns, knives, you name it, you know?
I went to Fort Valence on one occasion. After we'd had a victory in the magistrates' court, I went back with my instructing solicitor's managing clerk, who was a wonderful old character called Paddy Pakenham, who knew all the East End villains, and we had tea, and Violet gave us tea. And so I saw Fort Valence. It was an extraordinary experience because there was a conference going on in each room, over different matters, and Violet presiding at the bottom in her curlers, and she brought tea and entrees up to each conference room.
Well, she was a lovely woman. I mean, she's a typical mum, East End mum. I used to take my kids around there, and she would get them by the hand and take them in the kitchen, give them something to eat and make them a sandwich, and she was a typical East End mother, and very kind and affectionate. And I mean, she loved the twins like any mother. They can't see no harm in them, and obviously she must have worried about them and what they were doing. But I mean, they never spoke in front of her. It was always in another room. Nothing was ever said in front of Violet.
At the end, she must have sort of known what they was, you know, what they was up to and that, because the house was that small, you couldn't really talk in there and she couldn't hear.
People used to come out of prison, say, and knock on the door at Valence Road. No one was ever turned away. No one. They always give them £20, which was a lot of money them days.
I've never seen anything like it, before or since. And it was Violet's pride and joy in her kingdom.